Stan, it's great to have you back here at TF Nation. Obviously, the last time we spoke, you were putting the finishing touches to your latest album, which is going to be dropping Friday, the 20th of November. Back in August, you were still trying to find the title for the album. We now know that the album Dare to Dream. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where the title came from?
Yeah, the title song "Dare to Dream" was one just a few months ago. I guess it was maybe in the summer. This song, I'm really excited about it. It was just coming together just great, and the title just kind of popped out of nowhere. It just seemed like the perfect title because what it was leading up to was, you know, like daring to dream, as far as like when you're, you know, you make stuff happen in your life by imagining it first, and then, you know, you bring things to light just by being, you know, aware and engaged in what you're doing, and thinking about how you can make stuff happen. It's kind of a cool thing. All of us have dreams that we want to, you know, do and accomplish, and you know, to me, it just seemed like the perfect thing for a title track.
What was it like putting an album together during the COVID pandemic, during the lockdown?
Well, I gotta say, if there was a silver lining to this whole thing, it was being able to focus on that. And there were a lot less distractions, both myself and also my producer, Holger Fath, the great guitar player and producer, a friend of mine. And, you know, fortunately, I had his full attention this whole year because I was all he was doing mostly. And it was just amazing how everything came together. I've actually heard this from other artists that this time period was a very great one as far as the creativity side.
When did you start working on this album?
Well, okay, there were two songs from last year, a couple of songs, one of which you probably maybe familiar with, the 80s. That
it's
was
constantly on play on my Spotify list.
Thanks. Yeah, the 80s was from last summer. And it was such a, like, I don't know, we just thought the song was great, and so I thought, well, should put it out as a single because it's like the first song that came up for a new record, and that, okay, we'll release it now because, you know, you don't want to hold on to something like that too long. And so anyway, the music video came out great, and that's actually my son is playing a young me in the video. That's he's a good-looking guy with long hair. Anyway,
just out of curiosity, how old is your son?
He's 25, but he was 24 then. So
okay, so not familiar with the 80s at all then.
No, and yeah.
I mean, you explained to him what the 80s was.
Yeah, right. Here, put on this leather jacket and these boots. You know, no, it was a lot of fun. We had a blast doing it. Got an old VW bus. I had a VW bus when I was a kid, teenager, you know, and for me, it was really the 70s, but, you know, the 80s sort of has a ring to it. And plus the 80s music was the greatest. So, you know,
yeah,
but yeah, it just came together great. Anyway, so that was the first song. And then there was another one later in the fall, but then, you know, we really began in earnest with most of the tracking was this year. Writing and recording was during this year. So it took the rest of the year to put together the other, you know, 8-9 songs or so. Each track has a certain magic to it. You know, it's one of those things where when you write a song and you know it's good, you know, you get excited about it, and then, you know, the things just kind of evolve and it gets better and better. The latest song, you were probably going to lead up to this, but the last song was from Netflix. Reached out to me a couple months ago and about doing a song for it was supposed to be a promotion for their two most popular shows, Netflix anime shows, Baki and Kengan Ashura. Anyway, they're animated, you know, fighting shows, and the guy, the head of Netflix Anime, asked me about writing a fight song for that, and so of course I called my buddy, longtime co-writer Lenny Macaluso, and we put together this song, Born to Fight, and it was actually the last song we did on the album. So it was all done fairly quickly, and then of course the music video, also produced by Netflix, was done most recently, and it came out great. So it has animation from those two shows, and the song was perfect too for the album because it has that big AOR. You want to start with a powerful song in the first song, on an album. So it just all worked out great.
So that was basically how it happened then. Netflix just picked up the phone and said, obviously we're fans of your work. We've got this show. Write something for us.
Yeah. And he said, and use the word fight a lot of times. Often.
That was the only edict they gave you. Use the word fight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Netflix is producing a Transformers show. Is there any chance that you may be collaborating with Netflix in the future with anything else?
Well, I think that's very, very possible. I've gotten some a couple little birds talk to me already, but I can't say anything definitive yet.
Of course not. No.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 11 tracks altogether on the new album. Is there any other ones that particularly stand out to you as particularly personal in any way?
Well, personal would probably be the closing song, Home. It's a little bit reminiscent of that one that I did a few years ago called Southern Rain, where, you look back to your childhood sort of, and remember back, like I grew up in Florida, so it's like, it's home for me. It's still kind of home, even though I've been in LA for 40 years. But yeah, it's just, I think all of us yearn to go back and to your childhood as much as a place. It's like a feeling,
Yeah.
But anyway, that one came out really nice. And there's a big, nice love ballad. There's a few really good rockers. One called Heat of Attack, which is kind of a Survivor meets Born to Fight vibe. It's got there are songs about sort of, going for it and believing in yourself, and about, more introspective stuff like there's one called The Times of Your Life about, where you're like living each moment, and you need to try to hang on to the moments and remember, the good stuff. And that's what we try to do, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
have you already started thinking about the next one?
Looking back, it's probably about 3 years between each one, because it takes a while. First of all, you don't want to think about writing or recording for a few months, because you're just like, okay, I've been through it. I don't. Yeah, you never think you're gonna. Yeah,
at least take Christmas.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure. I'll definitely start working on new stuff very shortly. So, but yeah, it's one of those things too, when you're so close to it, you don't realize you're not objective anymore. So I remember I heard that when I talked to Joe Walsh a long, long time ago, and he had just completed a solo album. This was when the Hotel California album was just incredibly huge selling record. And he had done a solo album, and I asked him how it was. And he said, oh, I don't know, you just got to get away from it. And so, but that's really true. You have to get away. And then when you come back to it, it's like, oh, okay. Then you know how good it is, or the other way. But so far, I mean, the response has been terrific. The reviews have been great for Dare to Dream. So we're happy with it. We're happy with the whole thing.
So this is your 14th studio album. Do you find the process as easy as it was, or do you find it harder?
Well, it's easier in one respect, because I think I'm smarter now, and I think I have a better sense of how to write a good song. It's one of those things, just like everything in life, you do it for a while, you get better at it, so I think I've grown as a writer, and certainly my voice is still there, thank gosh. It's like whatever, it's you never know what's going to happen, but no, I'm actually I think I've gotten better. It's one of those things too, where you ask, you always think, if I knew then what I know now, you know, kind of thing, because we all go through stuff where we grow and improve our craft. And but yeah, I think it's challenging to sort of, because there's a lot of good stuff out there, you know, and you have to remain relevant. I think, you know, each of us has to strive to be the best we can be, you know. But yeah, I'm actually very, very happy with what's going on, with how I've grown and how the record came out great. So it's, you know, I have to attribute a lot to my producer too. The guy's really, really good. So anyway, and he's my best friend.
Well, then you've got to give him some credit, haven't you? Then, yeah. Otherwise,
there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you said just a little while ago that obviously the Born to Fight music video was produced by Netflix. That must have been a funny experience, again, just given the whole pandemic.
Yeah, the shoot for the video shoot had to be like you know, socially distant, and we had to observe all these practices for health and safety and all that. So, but yeah, it was actually went really well. The same guy that did the 80s video did the footage of me that's in the video. Malcolm Guess, he's great. He did such a good job on the 80s video that we got him to shoot the stuff from me here in LA. And of course the footage comes from the cartoon shows. Yeah. And that it was edited together in I believe Singapore. So
oh, right. Okay.
But, yeah, and well, the Netflix anime, I think, is headquartered in Japan. So, but yeah, they put it together over there. The ultimate video. Yeah.
Any other music videos that you might be thinking about especially from this album?
Gosh, I don't know. We'll have to sort of see how things unfold. I at one point had considered doing a video of Dare to Dream, because you could do a lot with that theme. You know, you see, like in the album cover artwork, especially the back cover, there's a kid sitting on a bed, you know, looking out the window, and of course on the front cover, this guy is young. He's a teenager, I guess, but he's standing facing the view, looking out, and there's a ship flying through the air with no you know, no water. Obviously, it's just flying through space, and it's a cool image. Anyway, it's just one of those things where, you know, if your imagination, if you're dreaming, you know, anything's possible. So that's I think that's the premise. But that would probably make a lot of possible stories from that to make a video out of, you know. So, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know at this point whether we'll do another video or not. So
yeah. Do you have much input into the music videos themselves?
Well, the 80s video was definitely like a collaboration between Malcolm and myself. Like, I had the idea of using, you know, getting a VW bus, first of all, to take us back in time, because let's see, and having the young guys be my band, as it were. And but yeah, with the Netflix video, of course, we were pretty much following their, you know, themes and whatnot with the fighting stuff. It's funny because during the COVID, my wife and I, she's a fitness, you know, person, and she's really good shape, and she was teaching me some kickboxing moves and doing some dumbbells, you know, so I didn't look too embarrassing in the video. But yeah, so that all kind of came together with the but Netflix had the concept of having me as a sort of a participant in the fighting stuff, and it was kind of cool how it came together.
Yeah,
it's like almost tongue in cheek, but not too much, you know, not too serious, but you know, it kind of works, I think.
There's a lot of blood and guts in that.
Tell me about it. Yeah, that's like way over the top. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, they thought, you know, Coyote and Roadrunner was violent. That was nothing.
Yeah, it's got nothing on these guys, has it? No, I know. I was sort of taken aback a little bit. I was thinking to myself, yikes. Like, so we do also have a few questions that have been submitted by some of our viewers here. This question came in from Starsaber34, and he basically said he's been a massive fan of yours for many, many years, ever since he bought the original Transformers the movie soundtrack. His question is, when you were tasked with providing the music to the original movie, out of all of the songs that were produced, which would you say is the one song that really stood out to you as an artist?
Oh, The Touch. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's kind of my signature song. And it's funny that kicked off this whole, my thing where I write these positive songs about believing in yourself and going for it. That all started with The Touch. That was the one that kicked that whole thing off. So, but thank you. Appreciate the support. It's cool to have, all this love and support. And, but I think, in a dark times like nowadays, I think you need some sort of, hopeful stuff, good, things, messages to put out there for people, and, positivity.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, especially now. Prime God, that's an interesting name, says, hi Stan, it was great to meet you at TFNation 2018, and he hopes you're well. My question is there anything or anyone you feel has been a particular big influence on your music?
Oh, wow. Going back, I grew up listening to, the Beatles, obviously, and, Led Zeppelin, and later, Foreigner and Journey, bands like that. But basically, it's just, I like everything. I even like the, the soul music they had way back, the R&B from the old days. But yeah, it's just so many great artists. I love the Eagles. Don Henley's one of my favorite artists. He's a great songwriter and singer.
What's on Stan Bush's Spotify list?
Classic rock mainly. It's 70s and 80s. I just it's kind of a song by song thing. You have obviously, like, one of my favorite songs of all is forever is Africa, Toto. That's just an amazing song, awesome song.
And it's really nice that even as a producer of music, you can still be blown away by other people's creativity.
Oh yeah, totally. It is. Yes, that's really true. You have people. They may have one incredible idea that just the one hit wonder phrase. That, where did that come from? Sometimes they But I once read an article by it was about it was an interview with. Well, it doesn't matter. I was just thinking about a quote one time that the guy said, "Oh, I didn't write that stuff. It just came out of me." Like you've heard of that, where they have that. I guess that's where the term inspiration or inspire, or it's all derived from the word spirit, I think. And so sometimes some people think that stuff comes from outside yourself or whatever. Maybe it's divinely inspired or something. But I think when we have, it's a gift from God, that we have these like creative things that just seem beyond our capability. And anyway, but I think the important thing is to be grateful and thankful that you have an outlet to express it.
Yeah. Agreed, absolutely. Let's Bill sends a couple of questions in. The first one I'm very curious about as well, and he's wondering whether or not you've ever considered releasing an acoustic album.
Oh yeah, I'd like that. That would be cool. I think you mean acoustic versions of some of my more famous songs. That's a great idea. Yeah, they that was kind of a thing back in was it the 80s or 90s? They did the Unplugged thing. Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. MTV Unplugged and stuff. Yeah, I remember all of that.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that would be great.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mainly play on acoustic and write on acoustic. So it's that's the other thing too. When you sit down just by yourself with an acoustic, it's like, then the song is there. You really hear the song. Yeah. It's not the whole production is important, but it's the song ultimately is the main thing.
Any touring in the future?
Absolutely. I'd love to play again. I'd come back to Europe, the UK. some of my best shows ever were in the UK, you know, so I love it over there. So anyway, and but yeah, as soon as we can do this, and I think there's a lot of hopeful stuff, like the vaccine so far looks like it's going to be incredible. So I think we may be looking back at all of this in the rearview mirror maybe by spring coming up. I think it's I'm an optimist. So
Ivy Germain says, not really a question, but a connection I think might amuse Stan as he launches his new album. My grandmother released a song and album in 1984 called Dare to Dream. The phrase became her catchphrase throughout her career. And just so you know, she took me to the cinema to see Transformers the movie in 1986. And when she heard the snippets of Dare, she turned around to me in the cinema and said, "Damn, I wish I did that one."
That's great. That's funny. What a cool story. That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that's a really cool connection, how it all came together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Right, Stan. Well, listen, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Just check in at the website to see what's going on, stanbush.com. So see, you know, there'll be information about upcoming shows, hopefully in the near future, and about the release generally. Yeah, thank you so much for your support, everybody.
Yeah.
And thanks for the interview.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And again, thanks very much for joining us. All the best then for it. I hope it's a massive success. I'm sure it will be. And I'm sure we'll speak in the very near future.
Thank you so much. All the best. Okay.
A massive thank you to Stan Bush for taking the time to record this interview. Thanks to everybody who is supporting us and whose names are appearing on screen right now, especially the artist extraordinaire, Anna Malkova. Thank you so much, Anna, for your support. And if you want to help support us, please take a look at the links down below. We'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe if you don't mind. And stay right here at TFN for some more amazing content in the very near future. Bye for now.